It has been a decade since Pep Guardiola was announced as Manchester City manager. The Catalan tactician agreed a deal with the club ahead of the 2016-17 season and joined the Premier League amid considerable scrutiny.
Vid sponsor index backlinks and pages fast ultimateindexing.com.
But nearly 10 years on, he's silenced nearly, if not all of his critics. To mark Pep Guardiola's decade in charge, All Out Football spoke with some of those who have witnessed and chronicled his era from start to finish. Here's what we discovered. Beyond all the trophies, it's easy to overlook the obstacles that Guardiola has faced during his tenure. The former Barcelona and Bayern Munich boss' inaugural campaign proved somewhat disastrous. Marking the first occasion in his managerial career, he failed to secure any silverware. Szymon Bajkolski, chief Manchester City writer for the Manchester Evening News, emphasized how rapidly Guardiola adjusted. He said, "A lot of people who wanted to see Guardiola fail in English football were absolutely delighted after the first season. He was swimming against the tide, really. He'd made a lot of big decisions, like Claudio Bravo for Joe Hart. Adapt. He did. City were merely Premier League champions in his second year, but achieved it while shattering the all-time points record. You don't remain at a club for so long, claiming all the honors Guardiola has done, without being completely dedicated to your profession." That's something Amos Murphy, journalist and co-founder of the City Ramble, explained. Speaking in the documentary, he said, "I say this in the highest esteem to a man who I hold as dear to me as a family member, but he is a weirdo in the sense he is completely absorbed by everything football. People around him say he just doesn't stop. He can't stop." Broadcaster and City supporter Ian added, "There's something different about Pep. It's a love of the game, not just a love of winning." On the psychological impact, Simon said, "You have to be a certain personality to cope with that. Some players might be able to do it for 5 or 10 years. Some players just 1 or 2. When Guardiola does ultimately depart English football, among the things he'll be best remembered for are the epic clashes with Jurgen Klopp. His Liverpool side proved a constant challenge on numerous occasions, but did Klopp actually elevate Guardiola's game?" City supporter Louisa Wilshaw thinks so, saying, "He did say that Klopp pushed him, made him better, made him a better manager, made him think what he needed to do next, how he needed to improve the team." Reflecting on the dramatic 2018-19 title race, where Liverpool's total of 97 points fell short of securing the league title, Amos said, "It was the most emotionally taxing thing I'd have ever been a part of. That 18-19 season. It was basically from September. If you drop points, your chance of winning the league decreases by 5%. You look at the points tally at the end. It turned out like that. It was the best heavyweight battle football has ever seen. When rivals Manchester United secured the treble in 1999, City were competing in the third tier of English football. However, in 2023, Guardiola delivered the treble to the blue half of Manchester, something that marked a culmination for one devoted supporter. Looking back on the 2023 success, content creator Big Steve said, "When the final whistle went, it just felt like everything had gone full circle and I'd completed what I needed to complete. From starting off as a boy at Main Road, watching them bounce around the divisions, to watching them lift the Champions League as part of the treble was unbelievable." Things became even more remarkable for Steve, who ended up among the City squad's celebrations. He added, "After the parade, things took a turn. I ended up being invited into the players' party. I was standing there with Pep. Jack Grealish was having a few beers. Ederson had no top on. Erling Haaland was walking around in pajamas. It was an unbelievable night. When Guardiola finally leaves City, it will be time to fully assess the 55-year-old's achievements. However, those associated with the club already regard him as the greatest ever." Simon commented, "History and the chance to make it is something that has really driven Pep and this team over the last 10 years. But to win 4 in a row, first English team to do that, I'm not sure if anyone will ever do that again on that accomplishment." Louisa chimed in, "I think that S awesome and that S what warrants him as the greatest of all time."